Hey guys. I'm mic'd up, cool. I'm Markus, I'm DeFi. I'm the CEO of Script3. We build open source financial software. The one that we are currently excited about and we'll be talking about is called Blend.capital. And so we're going to do a little bit of a Blastoff. Basically, Andrew made all this very cool art. So yeah, I guess if you have any design jobs for him, you can go ask him after this. It's pretty sweet. But anyway, I'm just going to be talking about Blend's history. It's been live for around 5 months, so we now have a lot of data and events to talk about where it's at today, and then what we're excited about in the future. So first, you guys probably need to understand what Blend actually is. It's a liquidity protocol primitive. It allows you to, if you have a credit need, you are building a protocol, you need to borrow money from somewhere, you want to lend money somewhere, Blend lets you do that. Some of you may have seen this slide before because we kind of use it a lot, but it kind of goes over what I just said. If you're any entity desiring a lending market, you can go and create a flexible lending pool, set your own parameters, your own assets, whatever you want. And then we have a backstop module that kind of handles all the hard parts of that for you without you even having to worry about it. It sits there, it ensures your pool, it governs it via market mechanisms, and then there are some other self-governing mechanisms in the actual pool. So yeah, just very easy lending pools. It's kind of a unique product in the crypto space, kind of surprisingly today. But yeah, what we kind of did with Blend when we were first designing it is we just chopped out the DAO because we found that DAOs added a lot of opacity and complexity to lending protocols. So it kind of sits in this unique trifecta of being permissionless. You don't need to talk to anybody to use Blend. You can go and set up a pool today and get it working today. It's highly capital efficient because of our automated interest rates and collateral rehypothecation. And then it's also very secure. We have built-in insurance. We have built-in market-based fee switches. Yeah, so it does everything that you actually kind of want out of a lending protocol. Now let's get into the actual meat of the presentation. Let's talk about where Blend has been. So I find stats is the best way to kind of talk about this. We've been live for around 5 months, so pretty much since Soroban launched, Blend's been out there. It's been growing, been getting users. 2 audits, 237 unique wallets, 8.58 million total deposited. Right now, TVL is at around 5-point-something million, but so that means that around 3 million has been withdrawn at various points, and 4.78 million total borrowed. Very high average interest rates. We're pretty much at the, I think from a risk-adjusted perspective, we're actually the highest average interest rate in the market at the moment, which is kind of neat. And then we've ran 17 liquidation auctions for a total of, this is actually an old stat, we had a $50,000 liquidation come through pretty recently. So for a total of $170,000, successfully processed all those. The liquidatees got really great terms on them. One of the cool things about Blend is we actually run auction-based liquidations. So there's very little Oracle dependency. Anyone can come in and bid on collateral that's being auctioned off to cover someone's debt. And it's a very new mechanism, no one else really does it, and they work pretty well. And then we had 82 interest auctions for a total of $27,800. What those are is, I kind of talked about the backstop module earlier in the presentation. The way that you pay the backstop module for insurance is by giving them a portion of interest via these interest auctions. So in total, backstop module depositors have collected almost $28,000, probably more than that as that was a couple weeks ago via 82 interest auctions. Now let's talk about those stats a little bit more. I kind of talked about them a bit, but yeah, we thought they were pretty good, especially for this point in the ecosystem, but they could be better. So the user stat specifically we thought was quite low. 274 wallets, not that many, and around half of those wallets, quite interestingly, were net new wallets to the Stellar ecosystem. So only really 170, 135-ish Stellar native wallets have actually interacted with Blend so far. So we think that a big driver there is just not enough wallet integrations. I don't think most Stellar users are super hip with the browser-based wallet thing. Most of them are interacting via apps. So if you're an app and you want to add interest, yield to your platform, come talk to us. It's really, really easy to get set up on Blend. Meru is the one wallet that's integrated us so far, and they got it set up in around like 4 days, so pretty fast. And then the TVL growth has been a bit slow. We hit 5 million, and then we've been kind of stagnant there. Part of the reason for that is you kind of have this cold start problem in DeFi where you get to a point where you have pretty significant TVL, but there isn't enough liquidity for anyone like really large to come in and start participating in the protocol. So if you're like a fund, for instance, you want the opportunity of like the trade, if you want to lend, to be like $1 million plus, right? But Blend, despite having really good rates, probably can only support like someone coming in and lending a couple 100,000, which is just not really attractive for a fund. It's too small. So I think that a big reason that we're like hitting this cold start problem, which we've also seen other DeFi protocols start to hit, is the actual like stellar native awareness of DeFi is quite low. I think a good way to look at this is DeFi TVL as a percent of market cap. And you can see that Stellar is over here at 0.51% DeFi TVL as a percent of market cap, whereas like Ethereum's at almost 20%, Aptos is at 24%. We're even behind Telegram, and I don't even know how to use that blockchain. So, So anyway, I think it just like is a lack of education, lack of advertising. I'm not really sure what it is, but for some reason, the majority of XLM like users, owners, the XLM community, the broader XLM community is not aware that DeFi is a thing. All right, Blend today. Kind of talked about this a little bit. These numbers are also a little bit old, or at least one of them's wrong. But yeah, TVL 5.24 million. We currently have 2 pools. We have the fixed XLM USDC pool, super simple, immutable. Just lend XLM or USDC and borrow XLM or USDC. That's it. Can't change. And then we have the yield blocks pool, which is pretty neat. Yield blocks has been a thing for a while, and it has now morphed into a DAO. So this is a DAO managed pool. So if you want to compare these two offerings in the like broader DeFi space, which that comparison kind of exhibits Blend's flexibility, the fixed XLM USDC pool could be thought of as similar to a Morpho Vault, whereas the yield blocks pool is very similar to Aave. So we support both of those styles of pools with Blend. And then I'll talk more about it later, but there are actually like 3 or 4 other very exciting pool types that are going to be launching pretty soon on Blend. So yeah, 4 assets. 2 of them are real-world assets. We have USDC and EURC, and then 2 are fiat currencies, which also happen to be EURC and USDC. And then the insured stat, this is the one that's wrong, and I want to talk about it a little bit. Our insurance coverage for like our, I guess, call it exploitable assets in the pool is actually at 50%. The reason for this is like when you look at a lending protocol and think about what assets are actually vulnerable here, it's the assets that are borrowable in the pool. Those are the assets that you can take if you somehow manage to exploit the oracle or infinite mint the collateral or something like that. So because Blend uses these things called utilization caps, it doesn't allow you to borrow past a certain % of the available assets in a pool. So for the fixed XLM USDC pool, the utilization cap for XLM is at 50% because XLM is primarily a collateral asset in that pool. We don't think there's significant borrowing demand. So we set that cap lower to prevent, like in the event of an oracle exploit, you can only borrow 50% of the actual XLM there. So yeah, our insurance coverage, our backstop is size of the backstop, which is actually insuring these pools, is 50% of the value in the pools. So it's really, really very good. Kind of cool. Then Blend ecosystem. There's been a lot of work done to build out the broader Blend auxiliary world to make Blend a lot more usable. We have a fee vault, which hasn't been announced yet, but basically what it is just because we're doing some additional work on it, it's a vault that specifically wallets can allow their users to deposit into Blend via. So you go give your $10 to the vault, and then the vault goes and shoves it in a Blend pool. And then that allows wallets to take like 10, 20% of the interest that their users are earning from Blend. So it becomes a revenue source for wallets. If you are interested in that product, come talk to us. We're still building it out. We want feedback. We want to understand your needs. So please come let us know. We have an open source UI that will allow you to participate in auctions via UI too. So the auctions being liquidation auctions and interest auctions. We have a Blend SDK, which makes it very, very easy to integrate with Blend. or read data from Blend, anything you need to do with Blend, very easy. A Blend utils repo, which just has a bunch of scripts that you can use to interact with Blend. Community bug bounties. Currently, there's one community bug bounty up that is by me. It's quite large, but we're open to additional community bug bounties if you want to put some money out there and say if you hack Blend, you get that money. And then we have 2 open source liquidation bots. One is a Rust-based bot that is kind of extensible and can be used for a lot of, like, call it MEV-related activities on Stellar. And the other one is just a dead simple, really easy to set up Blend liquidation bot. And we have that there because if you set up a pool, it is critical that you have something that is going and liquidating users and running these interest auctions. So you can go set up a little Docker container really easily that does that. Now let's talk about future of Blend. So we've got 2 kind of main priorities for the Blend ecosystem going forward. We want more users and we want more borrow use cases. We think those are the 2 things that are critical for building the future of DeFi on Stellar and helping Blend and all of Blend, or all of DeFi grow. The way that we get here, for more users, it's pretty easy. You just need more wallet integrations. You need someone who is using USDC as a savings tool on Stellar to be able to go and stick that USDC into a lending pool. It's like dead simple use case. It isn't that hard to set up. If you're a wallet, please come talk to us. And then one other thing that we're considering for Blend that we're also interested in getting feedback for is professionally risk-managed pools. We've been playing with an idea for a risk manager, like Backstop Vault, which basically allows a professional, like either asset risk manager or just like one of the companies that sits out there and looks for potential malicious activity on a protocol and then immediately hits kill switches if they see some. Basically setting up vaults where backstop users can go deposit into those vaults, and then the vaults go and deposit into the backstop. And then these risk managers have privileged activity to basically just pull the plug on the pool via having some control over those backstop deposits, because the backstop depositors are what actually govern the pool. So those are the 2 things that we're kind of considering for more users. Also, just bridge integrations would be great too, but we're getting there. And then more borrow use cases. We want to have organic like yield on Blend. We don't think that Stellar as an ecosystem can really support the same level of like leverage demand that normally fuels lending protocols on other ecosystems. So we're looking to integrate more like real-world lending use cases, remittance financing, stuff like that creates actual like yield on chain. Also, part of that is protocol integrations. One really cool protocol that's building on top of Blend right now is called Orbit CDP. And what they're using Blend as their credit facility. So they mint these synthetic stable coins, so like synthetic Mexican pesos, into a pool, and then they allow you to borrow those stable coins against collateral in that Blend pool, right? So we handle all the accounting for them, all the liquidations for them. It makes their job very easy, and all they need to do is handle minting and burning stablecoins. So protocols like that really help drive organic borrow demand and create more DeFi and Blend utility, and also we are lowering the risk surface for that protocol. So stuff like that we're excited about, and we think we're going to see more of it in the near future. And then I just have 2 more things to kind of dive into a little bit more that are related to what I just talked about. The first one, this is the professionally risk-managed pools proposal. This is something that we're thinking about building. We have it spec'd out. We haven't started coding it yet because we want feedback from you guys on A, if you're a backstop user, would you appreciate this utility? B, if you're a professional risk manager, would you be interested in risk managing for these pools? So basically how this works is you add a risk manager vault contract. So users go and deposit via that risk manager contract, and then that risk manager is going to relay the deposits and withdrawals to the backstop contract. And then you have a risk manager that goes and has like privileges on that contract, and it can go and execute emergency withdrawals on behalf of users. So how that works in Blend is you don't actually withdraw the funds, you just queue a withdrawal of the funds. So it's like even lower risk than giving them the ability to withdraw funds. So if the risk manager thinks something's wrong with a pool, they can go and immediately queue all of the deposits funds for withdrawal, and then just call the update status function on the pool contract, which will immediately turn the pool off. which heavily, like that's exactly what the backstop's supposed to do, but now instead of the backstop depositors having to do that themselves and having to like be somewhat sophisticated, since they should be monitoring pool state and on-chain state, they can delegate that authority to a professional and just give the professional a portion of the interest. Which should be actually pretty good. We were doing some data analysis on the backstop pretty recently, and like the average dollar-adjusted backstop yield up to this point, so like after half a year, is like 100%. So there's like a lot of money there to pay risk managers. Yeah, and then this one's pretty cool. This is something that I've been kind of talking about for a while, but it's kind of a big lift, so I want to get more people involved in it. But I think it would really unlock a huge amount of on-chain use cases for Stellar. Basically, we want to create a framework, a smart contract-based framework for facilitating over-the-counter lending on Soroban. So Stellar as a blockchain has a lot of these like real-world lending use cases between like, I guess, real-world entities. So like you have remittance financing. Like ARF in Southeast Asia does a huge amount of volume in remittance financing on Stellar. They'd love to finance it via DeFi. We don't have the rails for it yet. ClickPesa had just launched their fund for lending for SME lending in Africa. They love to finance. They are doing some financing via blend pools. That's one of the pools that's going to be coming up soon. But they could do more of it if they had a solution like this. Basically, the idea here is we're utilizing the blockchain to create a lot of transparency around flow of funds around these private credit deals to better like analyze and expose risks. And then we're also utilizing smart contracts to add contract-based like safety levers. So if you see a risk, like manager or facilitator can go and pull that lever and immediately like freeze the loan to stop like that line of credit being utilized further, which you can do in the real world, but it normally relies on like legal contracts that don't always work that well and are normally kind of slow. Smart contracts always work that's supposed to work as long as you wrote them correctly and are quite fast. So basically, yeah, just 2 seconds on the spec. We create an OTC facilitator contract that has some privileged facilitator person that manages a bunch of different OTC vaults, which all are managed by different loan managers. Those loan managers can go and create lines of credits via their vault for borrowers. That would be like remittance recipients if ARF was a manager for the loan vault. And then those loan vaults can borrow against a line of credit that would be facilitated by a lending pool. This isn't just Blend. This could be any lending protocol on Stellar, which is why we're trying to kick it off into kind of a open source like initiative with multiple DeFi protocols in the ecosystem working on it to build this open source public good that we think would be just massively beneficial for the ecosystem. So yeah, there's a spec right here that kind of goes over the entire like gnarly thing. Let us know if you're interested, and we'll get something started. That's it.